Hi everyone, and welcome to the Pisces Sun, Moon, and Rising Spiritual Connection reading. Welcome everyone. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot and Meaning-Based Spiritual Coaching Services. I am Lauren. Welcome. So all content on this YouTube channel, including this reading, is here to help illuminate how the Triad of Engagement, which is a tool I have developed, which focuses on the three principles of curiosity, courage, and contemplation, how when applied together can keep you feeling fully engaged and in flow with the unique energetic imprint of your life. Additionally, all content here on my website are here to help you answer your very own I am question so that you can re-engage with life in a more authentic, meaningful, and emotionally fulfilling way. If you guys want to learn more about the Triad of Engagement, I do have a couple of videos which I've recorded. The links are in the description box below. One is more for visual learners, the other one is more for conceptual learners. And there I talk about how this Triad of Engagement can help liberate you from the really awful feelings of frustration, fear, anxiety, detachment, and can reconnect you with the feelings of purpose and meaning and happiness and emotional fulfillment. All right, Pisces, let's get right into your reading. So when I talk about spiritual connection, what am I talking about? I am talking about the connection between your internal unique spiritual self, which is singular to each and every one of us, and its engagement with and connection to your external environment. So it is my belief that we are needed to fill some role in the external environment, and we can't do that if we're not bringing our authentic, internal, unique selves in to play with our external environment. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull some cards to show us the energy we're sitting with for yourself, and then we'll pull some cards to see what is going on in your external environment, and then we're going to pull some cards to take a look at what might be points of fear or anxiety that are preventing you from engaging this energy with your external environment, and how to basically bridge that and meet the challenge that your external environment, which I look at as destiny, or the parts of our lives that we can't control, why we're being asked to engage now and how we are being challenged to do so. And so kind of this whole reading is here to help show you how to meet that challenge and liberate you to connect authentically as yourself in your external world. So Pisces, let's get right into taking, that's a little too much. Let's see here. Let's get into your energy here. What energy are Pisces sitting with? All right, Pisces. Now keep in mind these readings are general, so I will try to keep these at a high level. Whatever doesn't resonate with you, please don't take, but I'm hoping that the overarching message of perhaps where you are being challenged currently will come through. So we have Strength. It's a great card. So Strength talks about learning to, aside from physical strength and being strong on all aspects of our experience, both mental and spiritual, as well as physical and emotional, the Strength card in the tarot really focuses on the internal component of strength. Strength that is associated with grace. Meaning, this is not showing strength through asserting your will on others. This is more the strength that comes with internal awareness of self, internal awareness that we cannot control our external environment. And so there is this component of realizing that sometimes true strength is knowing when to end an argument, or to keep quiet or to walk away. In this depiction, it shows an angel being able to basically open the mouth of the lion without the lion attacking her. And this is depicting that element of grace, that we each have a lion within us. But it's about showing how to wield the power that comes from that element of justice and strength, and doing so in a way that is soft and respectful of the situation or the other person that we're engaging with. So right now, to see you guys, to see this energy come up for you, I can see that there's this kind of quiet element to your current energy of going within. And perhaps what I'm just picking up intuitively is that you guys are going through a reevaluation period of kind of seeing what you've gone through and the strength it's taken to get to where you are right now. So let me go ahead and pull a card for what you guys are sitting with in your external environment, and to see why they are asking you right now to engage, and what that's going to illuminate for you about your individuality and the strength that you are starting to tap into. What is Pisces dealing with in their external environment? Ooh. Pisces and all right. Oh, okay. So, okay. Ooh, you guys are sitting with some big energy in your external environment. So we have the Devil and we have Death. Now these two cards obviously can seem a little scary when they come together. But in reality, both cards are cards that are meant to actually harness the energy of liberation in their highest potential. Meaning, they are here to show us and illuminate some part of ourselves that either needs to be released to allow us to be unchained, or a part of ourselves that needs to be let go so that it can be transformed. So these can actually be extremely liberating energies, which lines up right now, Pisces, with what's going on astrologically. We just went through yesterday a very big full moon in Capricorn, which is pretty much a summation of the lessons we've been learning up to this point in really our work-life balance. How hard do we work and where do we put our energy? And in addition to that, where we're kind of, seeing this at odds is where we want to enjoy ourselves and where do we want to put our passions. And so it's causing a lot of people to actually go through this very similar energy, not just you, Pisces, in that we're seeing where we're being restricted or held back. The Devil is actually a card that harnesses Capricorn energy. And then seeing what we want to transform in our lives, perhaps to change how we view work, where we put our energy, what will make us feel more free. And you guys are really sitting with that energy. You're tapping into that right now, which is beautiful. So in your external environment, you are being asked to come out with the strength that you're sitting with now, to be strong enough to take a look at what is holding you back. And I apologize. Ooh, I knew that sneeze was coming. Sorry, guys. Anyways, you're being asked to engage and to have the strength to take a look at what's holding you back. Now, the card of the Devil shows two people loosely chained. They can easily get out of their chains. They're choosing to stay there. So when we talk about the energy that surrounds this card in the tarot, we're talking about areas in your life that are within your control to change, but you're using them as an excuse basically to stay under the impression that you are bound to them, that keep you from doing something now that you maybe want to do, to transform into. So these can be things like codependent relationships. This can be the false sense of security that you get from going to a 9-to-5 job that you are now so over. It's every day, it's like pulling teeth. This is even being held back by negative thoughts and trying to rationalize them to yourself that they are actually within your best interest, and you're just trying to be rational now when you used to be irrational, when you weren't so stable and steady and, trying to look at your life from a real place. There are all kinds of things that can hold us back. The Death card, again, harnesses this element of death and rebirth, because for everything that dies, that matter does not dissipate, it simply is transformed. So death is as much a part of life as life is a part of death. And that's really the energy of this card, is that there's this element of transformation. So this is very big energy for you, Pisces, and what you're sitting with. So you are sitting with all major arcana cards, this is kind of a crux point, meaning that this is really what it's a point where you're being called to address something very big in your life, because it's meant to liberate you. So I'm going to pull some cards now for what I call the void. And if you want to learn more about the void, you can click on the first Triad of Engagement video that is labeled as the visual one. And it is discussed in greater detail there. Sorry. But the void is basically it's a protective barrier that we start to create as we move from from childhood into adulthood. And we create this based on each time we try to bring a unique part of ourselves into engagement with our external environment. When we receive, actually I'm going to go like this, when we receive a less than positive response, we will add a layer to this protective barrier. So it may start off very small. You, as a child, bring out a certain part of yourself, it gets criticized, and so you put up this little barrier, and I call it a mask that goes in front of between you and the external environment, so that you don't share that part of yourself again, because you don't want to get hurt. And as we get older, we start to do this for more and more and more parts of ourselves. So each time we experience a point of failure or fear or anxiety, we put up another layer, another layer, another layer, and pretty soon this becomes a void. It is what disconnects us or keeps our authentic, unique, beautiful selves from engaging with our external environment. And what happens at that point is that's where we become emotionally detached. Because emotional fulfillment comes when we are actually taking those parts of ourselves that have value and engaging them with our external environment so that we can feel some type of return. When we're not doing that, we are simply just going through the motions. When we're not connected in any way to ourselves, our unique selves, when we're not using our abilities, we're not working towards or aware of our unique dreams because we've so hidden them, and we're not doing it, we're not acting with a purpose in engaging them with our external environment, that's where we just feel nothing. And in the reverse, our external environment responds by not recognizing who we are as an individual, and not becoming what we would like to see manifest externally. And so this is where also frustration can occur, where we wonder, well, why don't people see me for who I am? Because they can't see across the void you've created. And this is also where we wonder, well, why don't I feel happy? Why am I so disconnected from everything in my life? Well, because you're not allowing parts of yourself to be seen, because you're afraid or that part of yourself causes you to have a moment of anxiety, so you repress and you push back. And then you become more and more frustrated. So right now, I'm going to take a intuitive look at what's sitting right now in your void. So your point of fear is the Six of Cups. Now the Six of Cups is on its own a beautiful energy. It's the energy of nostalgia, of looking back to the past and seeing something almost with rose-colored glasses. And it's interesting because I think I can't remember who, there was another sign that actually had almost these two cards in the exact same positions. But there is this element where this can become a fear point or a point of illusion that we don't actually recognize as a fear point because we're not willing to see something in the past for what it was. And that's where when the beautiful energy of the Six of Cups, which is going back as well to a former version of yourself and actually getting a gift that you can bring forward. There's an element to this card that actually speaks to that, of being able to emotionally connect with a part of yourself you've hidden for a long time, you might have forgotten about, and being able to reconnect on an emotional level with that part of yourself and then bring that forward. And so for you, I think that that's actually what you're sitting with right now. And it's going to take a lot of strength to be able to bring that forward because it's probably at odds right now with your current life. You know, this is like when we rediscover our passion for writing, or rediscover some random passion that we had towards, I was obsessed with becoming an archaeologist, and now I just, that's all I can think about. That's what I, follow on social media. That's a book I just read, and that's all I can think about. And now, I can't just leave my job in the financial world to go pursue my dream of becoming an archaeologist, but you can't let it go. It's like you've reconnected with that part of yourself, and it's scary because your external environment is calling you now to engage with this past version of yourself, with this gift that's trying to come forward. And I think that that's why you're sitting with this element of strength, because it is going to take a lot of strength to follow that. But what this is showing me is that this is in direct competition with the King Pentacles, which is about being able to create financial abundance for yourself. The King of Pentacles is the king of basically creating in the tangible world. And so there's this element here of, I think, being afraid that you can't take a past hobby or gift or love, something that was emotionally fulfilling for you, and make money from it. And this is directly, and I see that here with the Ace of Cups, because this is your crux point. This is really where you're being asked to readdress your relationship with emotional fulfillment coming directly from the divine. Because the Ace of Cups is this beautiful gift of emotional connection, unconditional love from the divine. This cup denotes, in its purest form, that your cup always runneth over. That there is always this element of love for yourself, love for other people, and that you can always know what's in your cup. You can always connect to something within yourself that comes directly from the divine that will emotionally fulfill you and keep you going. This is also a card of new connections and love. So there's this element of here, for some of you, you might actually be connecting and starting a new relationship, connecting to and starting a new relationship that is challenging you to actually unlock a part of yourself from the past. Now on this side of this crux point, you have the Princess of Wands, which is the Page of Wands in the traditional tarot, and the Seven of Cups. Now, the Page of Wands is a card of going out and working with your passion from a kind of a beginner's mindset. It's almost like going out as a child with this sense of awe and wonder of, ooh, look what I have. I have this magic wand, which is the wand of your eternal flame, your passions. And what can I do with this magic wand? It's a beautiful energy to have. Combined with the Seven of Cups, and this is your challenge right here. So as we come forward, with the knowledge that we always have our cup, we always have one cup for ourselves that we can tap into that is our ultimate emotional fulfillment. This is that one part of ourselves that at any given time, no matter the external circumstances, we can always go back to and say, we are loved. We are loved, we can feel love, we can give love. But that love comes from within. We're not looking to have a full cup from the external environment. We're not looking for others to fill our cup. We have a full cup, and that's from our relationship directly with the divine. Now, the Seven of Cups is the illusion that there are all of these options out there that can be emotionally fulfilling, and we are worried about which option to choose because it might not be that one. And so if this is more for a very specific message for a few of you around new love, this could be doubting if the person that you're starting this relationship with is really going to be the one, and should I follow my passion? Should I follow this new spark of inspiration and go for it? Or should I hold myself back and protect myself and put up another layer, another barrier in between myself and experiencing a really great possibility of this gift of a supportive romantic partnership? On the other side, for those of you who are not dealing with a romantic interest, I really feel that this is coming back to tell you that there's only one, the same thing that you're tapping into right now about yourself from the past is that one thing that fills your cup. And you're worried at this point, you're almost pushing yourself to this place of illusion of, yeah, but there's probably so many other things. I have other hobbies and I like to do other things. Like, why this one thing, it can't be that important. And yet you feel it. And yet your external environment is telling you it's time to bring this forward because you need to release your fear. You need to realize where you're holding yourself back. Because this is what is going to lead to this. You are under the illusion right now in this fear point that you can't make money easily from bringing forward a gift, a talent, an ability of yours from the past. And yet you're being reminded that Spirit has given you that gift. And you better be darn right that you can create something from that in the tangible world. But you have to break that illusion that you can't. That you have to also work the 9 to 5 and then maybe work on this at night and then get so burned out that you end up dropping this again. Or that you have people who depend on you, and so there's no way you could take this hobby and do this. You have to stay at your 9 to 5 job, or you have to stay in this codependent relationship that allows you that a person gets to, bring in X amount of money so you can stay in where you're living now, even though part of your passion might require you to go and live someplace else. I mean, this could even be knowing that you have to go back to school and just holding yourself back with the excuse of, yeah, well, I can't afford that. There's always options. There's always alternative ways, as long as we make the decision to break the chain. People go to college all the time, or go back to school all the time, and find creative ways to help pay for that. There's also this element here of the divine telling you, spirit telling you, you have the strength. You've already gone through so much. You have the strength. Have faith in us. Have faith in your connection to spirit that this is what is meant to be. And then there's the death card on this side, which is again the transformation. That what you're releasing is not going to simply just die and wither on the vine, is that it's going to be transformed. So you can literally release something right now and it will be actually transformed into something else. You're not going to actually lose something. So if you have to give up the security of a 9-to-5 job to pursue a new passion project, the energy you're putting towards that will be transformed. And that's what's going to come back and help manifest in the physical world. But fear doesn't manifest abundance in the physical world. Fear, in turn, manifests almost, I wouldn't call it a black hole, but it manifests nothing. Fear manifests, some people will say, well, the more you think of something bad happening, it does. I don't really believe that. I don't look at we are here to punish ourselves, or that the divine is here to punish us, that if we think negative thoughts, the negative things will occur. I think what happens more is that nothing happens. And we then end up seeing that as a negative because nothing changes. Because we stay living in the same location that we're unhappy with for many years, thinking, well, I was never given the opportunity to move, or I was never given the opportunity to have more money to go on. Bad stuff always happens to me, see? Other people got their, wage increase so that they could move out of here. I never got mine. Well, it was because you never actually made the changes internally and made the decisions to take action towards something that would have then changed your external circumstances. And so that's really the danger of being held back by fear, is that nothing changes, and in turn, your perspective becomes more and more negative, more and more detached. You feel less and less empowered and more at the mercy of the external, and that's completely false, because especially with sitting with strength, what you're learning about yourself right now is that true strength and change comes from your own ability to control your decisions and actions, and how much of yourself you choose to release into the world. What are the risks you take? What are the dreams you're following? Now, there's always going to be the uncontrollable elements of your external environment. You're never going to be able to control another person, their reactions, their choices, but you can choose yours. Meaning you might have to walk away from a relationship to start a new one. But there's the hope that that is something you've always wanted, a great relationship. And with that can actually come abundance in your life. When you think about some of the best relationships, those two people can help heighten and grow each other and support each other to where they both end up elevating their circumstances. Or having the strength to be able to walk away from a stable 9-to-5 job to pursue something that will be one's ultimate fulfillment. And you're still putting energy towards something. You're still taking your hard work ethic and putting it towards a new area. And it doesn't mean that just because it doesn't have the label of stability that the outside world tells you this is a good job to have, doesn't mean that it can't bring you financial abundance. Doesn't mean that as you transform, as you release one place where you put your energy, that where you put it now into something else isn't going to be even more abundant. And that's the beauty of the fact that we can't control our external environment, because we don't know. We don't know if we take this risk, if it's going to equate to us earning this much. And the true beauty lies in the fact that it could actually equate to 20 times that amount. And we can't even understand or see that. So that's really tapping into the awe and the wonder of our external environment. So I'm going to get into that now down here at the Triad of Engagement. So the Triad of Engagement, I'm going to pull a card for curiosity, courage, and contemplation, and show you kind of how to navigate across this fear point of really understanding that following a passion is what unlocks physical abundance within your current experience. And you're really being asked by your external environment to go for it, to release yourself, to unchain yourself. Okay, so when I talk about curiosity is the first step in the Triad of Engagement, because it's what builds the bridge between our internal selves and our external environment. So we're reopening ourselves back up again to bridge the void. We are starting to work with the principles of optimism, openness, and receptivity, instead of the masking and the barrier and the moat of the void that we've created, which has closed us off. So when I talk about curiosity, I always like to bring in the image of coming from a childlike sense of optimism towards your external environment. That kind of outlook of, well, why, what if, how come? And expecting that a positive result or answer will come from each of your questions and queries, instead of what we tend to do as we get older is replace our anticipation of a positive response with a learned negative response. And this is what prevents us from actually really using curiosity as a tool for self-discovery and growth. All right, let's see. What energy are you sitting with, Pisces? Ooh, for curiosity. Contract. Interesting. So with contract in this oracle deck can talk about an actual contract, that there could be something coming in where you are looking at either the breaking or the making of something. This can be, a marriage proposal. This could be signing on the dotted line for a job. This can also harness the energy of the Justice card in the traditional tarot, which talks about balance and all things being equal. So if perhaps you've put energy into something here and you feel like you haven't had that return on investment, well, the faith to know that everything will balance out in the end. Now, what I'm seeing here for you specifically with the number 6, number 6 to me really harnesses the energy of spiritual connection, spiritual union. It can also denote creativity and have reference to the home. But there is this element of, I think, being curious about, perhaps when we talk about contracts, this doesn't even have to be just legally binding contracts. This can be specifically also where we've made emotional commitments to others. So maybe we told somebody, yes, we committed absolutely to fulfilling this, role on a team in our work environment. And now it doesn't seem so appealing anymore. Or we made a commitment in love to somebody. Or we made a commitment to a family member. And this is really where I think opening yourself up to the contracts in your life, looking at where you've made commitments and possibly contracts that are coming in right now. So this can be new job opportunities. This can be you looking to actually make things official with a significant other. And evaluating, being open, realizing that no contract is forever and that you can walk away from commitments if need be. you can actually release commitments. We don't have to, just because we said yes, we are forever changing and growing in the moment. And oftentimes we start to take contracts and commitments that know that we've now grown out of, and we start to step into this almost like martyr role with them. Well, yeah, I told my company when I first got hired that I was going to be with them for 5 years. But then within 5 years, a lot's changed. Perhaps you are now a different person. You might have gone through something that was very life-changing for you, and now you see your life in a whole new perspective. And instead of sitting here and saying, well, I told them 5 years, only 1.5 more years to go, I guess I'll just keep going. No, it's your life. Only you can live your life for you. And I think oftentimes we forget this fact. We stop being curiously open to life and realizing that there is this ever-changing element to our external environment, and that can be mirrored within us. We can change and grow. That's the whole purpose of our life, is to evolve into the highest version of ourselves. And evolution means change. We are not the baby, the infant we were born as. We continue to grow and evolve, and not just in a physical sense. The same growth happens on a mental, a spiritual, and an emotional level as well. And so, yes, we do change. We do outgrow commitments. We do outgrow situations. And so this is about being curious as to being open as to what it would look like if you released some of these commitments. Or if you actually accepted some that may be coming into you. If you release some, what will then it open up to come back? Again, the more we release and let things die, the more that energy is transformed and comes back to us. So what might come back to you if you allow a commitment or a contract to go? All right. So Pisces, now I'm going to pull a card for courage. And courage is the next step, because if curiosity is about opening yourself back up to engagements, building that bridge, courage is about actually having the courage to make the decision, to take the action, to walk across that bridge and engage as yourself, mask and void free with your external environment. And this is important because if we don't actually step into courage and we don't choose to take action, then nothing changes, and we truly are at the mercy of our external environment, and we end up not being able to take advantage of opportunities that are waiting for us, to help unlock the truly unique singularity that lies within each one of us. So this is a really important principle to keep in mind on a daily basis, actually, when you are making even the littlest decisions. When you're making that decision as to, do I exhaust myself by going to the grocery store on the way home to pick up healthy food for my family to come home and then have to cook it for everybody because this is the commitment I've made is to cook healthy food for everybody, or do I know that I'm exhausted and I want to honor myself and honor my time to spend with my family and go and I can pick up a healthy alternative, or I can call my significant other on the way home and ask if they can go to the store and pick up something, and have faith. And this is where courage always takes faith. Have faith that they can follow through on that. And the more that you have faith, the more that you start to take action from a place of what honors and feels good to you, and you start to have faith in the abilities of others around you, and just also in the faith that things will turn out with a good outcome. That's really where you start to see the change. You'll start to see people around you rise to the occasion. You'll start to see those positive outcomes come through, and then you're feeling much better at the same time because you're not holding yourself accountable to make decisions that don't feel in alignment with you. Now, for courage, you have surrendered to miracles. And this is so interesting because even after all that shuffling, this is the exact same card that came out for Aquarius. And I think you guys have, kind of a similar message coming through here of really having to go back and share some part of yourself or tap into some part of yourself and battling that fear of, but it might not turn out the way I want it to, and realizing that this is actually your key to liberation. So surrender to miracles. It says, be open to miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish any doubt that miracles can happen. I love that card. And this is truly where that faith component comes in, of being able to have the strength to let some things go because you don't know what miracles are coming. When I talked about how you don't know if you leave your 9-to-5 or maybe you make $100,000 to pursue for a few months this dream, this passion, this ability of yours, and you think, well, gosh, if only I could make half of the salary that I was making now, that would be so great. And in reality, as soon as you start to pursue this, what you don't realize is within a year, you're going to actually make 3 times the amount of your original salary at your 9-to-5 that you didn't like. And you never would have expected that of yourself or expected that of following this. Or same thing with pursuing a new love. That surrendering to this element of you never know when you're going to meet that one. And that this person might just be the one. So it's time to come open and vulnerable to fulfill this beautiful nostalgic component of you knew as a child you were always going to meet this one. And perhaps now this is it. This is the person. This is the divine partner you were meant to meet. But this is asking you to have faith. And also not even just faith, but also faith that every day the things that seem scary about our external environment that are out of our control actually can create beneficial possibilities and opportunities for us that we can't even fathom until they happen to us and for us. Okay, now I'm going to pull a card for contemplation. And contemplation is the final step in the Triad of Engagement because it's your ticket back across the bridge. It's where you walked across the bridge, you built the bridge with curiosity, you've courageously walked across the bridge with courage, and now it's time to go back and take a look at what happened. So you come back to your internal self and you reflect and integrate. What was I took action. What was the reaction? What was the response? What happened to my external environment? And now I'm going to go back and take a look at that. Okay, I took this action and this is what happened. Now, what did I learn about myself? What part of myself now can I continue to grow? Can I continue to bring forward? If I had a less than desirable outcome, what do I need to know about that and learn about that so that I can adapt and grow and transcend this failed experience into one of success the next time I go across the bridge? This is our seat of continued self-education. And my belief is that this is more, learning through direct experience with your external environment is more beneficial than going back and getting 100 different master's degrees. This is where you get for free to continually self-educate and where you can actually transcend areas that you feel limited in your personal growth and areas that you feel limited in your situational and environmental growth. So This is where we get a chance to learn and say, I'm not going to keep repeating that mistake. I'm going to look at this optimistically and say, okay, next time I'm going to change this to be able to now rise above that failed experience. So in contemplation, you have Anna, grandmother of Jesus. So seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. And I think that that's really a wonderful card to kind of sum up this reading here. Now, you don't have to believe in Jesus. I think what this card means to me specifically is that there's this component of never knowing how far something you start now will grow. When it talks about seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan, I don't know personally, because I'm not somebody who's gone down into religious texts in the Christian world, but it is my understanding that Jesus had a grandmother, and that when she had her daughter, who was Mary, who was Jesus's mother, she probably had all kinds of expectations and hopes and dreams for that daughter of hers. But she never in a million years would have anticipated that her child that she loved and nurtured and put time and energy into would then give birth to a man who would change a lot of how many people for generations, moving forward would see themselves, see each other, be able to be liberated from, be able to be liberated on a certain level through their spiritual connection. She didn't know that that was what was going to happen when she decided to responsibly follow her passion in having a child and raising that child well. And that's what I think this card really talks about when we're contemplating our expected results from actions taken. That a lot of times we'll take action with this expectation of, well, I hope it equals this. It's better. If I take the time to take this girl out on a date, she better, this better be the one. Or if I choose to leave my job to follow a passion, well, I better make X amount by this time. And if not, then that means I've failed and all of this. And what we don't realize is when we let go of those expectations and we simply just look at are our actions, is what we are trying to take action towards, is that laying the foundation for bringing forward a part of ourself that we are emotionally connected to in a fulfilling way. So let's say you want to write that book, and you write that book and you put it out there and it doesn't get picked up by a publishing house, or only 10 people read it. What you don't realize is that in taking the time to write that book, you don't know who that book maybe in 50 years will come back up, or 100 years. You might be dead when that book comes back into somebody's life and changes it. I mean, how many artists do we know of, famous people in history who have invented something that have changed life as we know it on such a very amazing level, or artwork that is now widespread and everybody gets a chance to see, but the artist before they passed away lived in poverty and never experienced any part of that fulfillment of seeing somebody else celebrate their work. And that's kind of where we have to have that faith that there is a divine element to us. There's a reason why each one of us is a singularity, why each one of us has our own unique perspective, why each one of us, with those two things combined, our unique abilities and our singular perspective, why there will never be another one of us. And why we are being challenged by life constantly to meet that, to be us, to live fully this life that we have been given, but as ourselves, to live out our destiny. But we can't live out our destiny. There's an element of free will that goes hand in hand with destiny. If we choose not to interact, well then then destiny can be all that it wants to be, but nothing will happen. And so this is really about, contemplating on releasing expectations and integrating newfound passions, like passions that have been reignited, and understanding that that's more important than trying to gain a specific outcome or trying to tally how much something can produce in the tangible world based off of certain said, expectations of outcome. You can be highly successful from doing something that you emotionally connect to, from doing something that truly fills your cup, from going out and feeling like a child with a magic wand in your own life. All right, now I'm going to pull just a couple more clarifying cards here that are going to, let me just make sure everything is good. Okay, so I'm going to pull some clarifier cards here for your energy, see if there's any more specific messages that want to come out. And we'll see if there are any for the external environment. So what is my Pisces? And actually, I need to take a drink of water. What are my Pisces sitting with? We have Queen of Cups, Knight of Wands, and the Moon. And actually, I'm going to pull for your external environment as well. Let's see for your external environment. Any additional messages? Death again. Woo, that's a double confirmation. Let's see if anything else wants to come out here. Oh, that is way too much. I did see the King of Pentacles come out, by the way. Oh, the Fool, I love it. Beautiful. Okay. So for your energy here, we have the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is, to me, the unconditionally loving mother archetype. This really is showing, the Queen of Cups specifically is a queen sitting and holding her cup. She is secure in the knowledge that she always holds this cup with her. And that is how she is able to not only be loving and nurturing to others, but to herself, because she always holds this cup. And I think that's the strength that you guys are starting to tap into, and the knowledge that you need to help be able to, by engaging this vulnerable passion of yours with your external environment, that's what you're going to realize, is that you always hold this cup. And that you have this ability to almost self-mother at the same time, to understand that we all are unique and we are all loved by the divine. And we all hold our own Ace of Cups. And it's not about the illusion that there are other things external to us that can bring us that emotional fulfillment. It's that we hold that within us at all times. And that's where we choose to take action from that place, from that connection, and knowing at any given time, this is what feels good to me. This is what fills my cup. And only you can know what's in that cup. Nobody can fill that for you. And then we have the Knight of Wands and the Moon. And this really portends going out and following your passions, but that there's this element of a lack of clarity. This is, the Moon to me is, can you walk this path on faith? And that's where the strength comes in. The strength that, so many people choose not to harness the Knight of Wands energy, which is going out and taking action from a place of passion. It's the next step up from the Princess of Wands. So she's like the child with her magic wand, starting to see what's the possibility. The Knight of Wands now knows what his wand can do. He knows where his passions lie. He knows what he loves to do. And he's going to go out and actually follow those. He's going to go out, and when he gets the opportunity, he's not going to say no. Now that can be scary because the path is always unseen. I mean, anytime we interact with our external environment, we're never going to have a secure outcome. But what you're being asked to do now is, can you walk this path on faith? Can you have faith that miracles are present and that following your passions and taking action on them as opportunities come up, can you have faith that this is what's going to lead to your abundance, that this is going to unlock your connection to your emotional fulfillment? And on this side, we have Death again and the Fool. And this is beautiful because the Fool is the reset. The Fool is death transformed. The Fool in the tarot harnesses the energy of the reborn soul. So this is when something has died and it now comes back and it's in a new form. And that's exactly what you're being asked to do. And that's exactly, it's sometimes we don't understand how either pursuing a new love interest and opening ourselves up truly vulnerably to a new person can actually transform us more so than trying to create this outcome that we are, expecting. That if I date this person, then we're going to get married and we're going to have 2 kids and it's going to be fulfilling because I check mark all these boxes with this person. Instead, it's more about what you learn about yourself. This new love could actually be what unlocks this passion for yourself and helps to show you how to make money from that. And maybe this new love is not the one, but that somehow in dating them and being with them, this person helps elevate you in some way. Or love aside, this could be where you simply just realize that a part of yourself is no longer what it used to be. You've grown. You've transcended. Maybe at one point you loved the job you were in, or you loved the home that you lived in. It was your forever home. And then all of a sudden you reconnect with this part of yourself that you don't see things in the same way. You might have connected with a part of yourself that you remembered you wanted to be the traveling, adventurous vagabond, and you wanted to never have a house. And all of a sudden you reconnect with that part of yourself and you realize, wow, I could actually sell my home and make a chunk of money and I could live like that. And what is that going to open up for me now? Why am I being asked to do that now? Because it's going to fuel this new version of yourself. It's going to fuel this part of yourself that's always been with you, but now gets to be transformed into something new and beautiful. And it's going to be laying the foundations for what's to come. And that's where you're being asked now to step up and really take part in this energy of release, because I have this feeling there's so much more to come for you. So the more that you can step in and embrace this energy of taking stock of who you are now, knowing, releasing any type of tie or expectation that the external environment can fill your cup and basically make you happy. Turning that around and realizing you always have your own cup. You know what is in it that will make you fulfilled. You are the one that has to then go out and live from that place into the external environment, and that's what will make you feel that emotional connection and happiness. And alternatively, that's also what's going to bring you abundance in your tangible world. That's the internal change, the internal realization is what will end up giving you the ability to change your external environment. All right, Pisces, I hope that this has been a illuminating, but also a liberating message. This has been one of the more fun ones that I enjoyed. I loved doing the Aquarius one, but yours is equally as inspirational. And I really hope you get to follow your passion. And for anybody dealing with new love, ooh, have fun. It's a good time. It's a great time, actually, to start a romantic partnership. So don't be afraid to let go if that's what's coming your way right now. All right, Pisces, I will see you at your next spiritual connection reading. There are also going to be additional readings that are working with your gifts, and those are also coming up on the channel throughout the month. And if you'd like to book a personal reading or a one-on-one coaching session, the link to my website is in the description box below. Have a great day, Pisces. Bye.